The traditional view of biblical composition looked something like this. Most Hebrew Bible books were written between the 10th and 5th centuries BCE, but our oldest substantial manuscripts dated to the 2nd or 1st century BCE. That left a gap of centuries, during which anything could have happened to the text. The Enoch findings are shrinking that gap. If some Dead Sea Scrolls date to the late 3rd century BCE, we now have manuscripts within 2 or 3 centuries of the original composition for many biblical books. For some texts, we may be even closer. Portions of Chronicles, Ezra, and Nehemiah may have been composed in the late 5th or early 4th century BCE. If copies were being made by the late 3rd century, the gap could be less than 100 years. This is revolutionary. We're approaching the kind of textual proximity that scholars have for classical Greek and Roman literature. One of the most remarkable findings from AI analysis is how stable the biblical text was. Compare a Dead Sea Scroll of Isaiah with a medieval Masoretic manuscript written over 1,000 years later. The differences are minimal. Yes, there are variants. Yes, there are copying errors. But the fundamental text is the same. The same words, the same order, the same message. This degree of textual stability over more than a millennium is extraordinary. It testifies to the dedication of generations of scribes who saw preserving these words as a sacred duty. AI is now quantifying this stability in ways that weren't possible before. Machine learning can compare thousands of variant readings and calculate the overall rate of change. The numbers are striking. For most biblical books, over 99% of the text remained unchanged across centuries of copying. The Enoch findings also reshape our understanding of early Judaism. If scriptural texts were fixed and authoritative by the 3rd century BCE, it means the Torah and prophets were already functioning as sacred scripture much earlier than some scholars believed. This supports the traditional Jewish view that the Torah was the foundation of Jewish life from ancient times. It wasn't a late creation of priests and scribes. It was the inherited tradition of the people. The early dates also help explain the intensity of Jewish devotion to Scripture. During the Hellenistic and Roman periods, Jews weren't defending new texts. They were protecting an ancient heritage. The AI findings also have implications for understanding the origins of Christianity. Jesus and his first followers were Jews who knew and quoted the Hebrew Scriptures, but scholars have debated whether they had access to stable, authoritative texts or only fluid traditions still being shaped. If the Enoch dates are correct, the scriptures Jesus quoted were essentially the same texts we have today. When he cited Isaiah or the Psalms, he was reading words that had been fixed for centuries. This strengthens the connection between the Old and New Testaments. The prophetic texts that Christians see fulfilled in Jesus were ancient and established, not recent creations that could be shaped to fit new purposes. Not everyone accepts the Enoch findings. Some scholars argue that the AI system may be detecting patterns that don't actually correlate with dates. Others question whether radiocarbon calibration has been done correctly. There are legitimate debates about methodology, about sample sizes, about how to weight different types of evidence. Science works through challenge and verification. The Enoch findings will need to be replicated by other teams using different methods, but the initial results are provocative enough that they cannot be ignored. They represent a genuine challenge to conventional chronology. The Enoch AI represents the first generation of artificial intelligence applied to biblical manuscripts. Future systems will be far more powerful. Machine learning algorithms are improving exponentially. Computing power is increasing. New techniques for analyzing ancient materials are being developed. Within a decade, AI systems may be able to analyze not just handwriting, but ink composition, parchment preparation techniques, even the microscopic structure of ancient materials. One of the most exciting applications of AI is recovering damaged or illegible text. Many Dead Sea Scroll fragments are so deteriorated that human eyes cannot read them. The ink has faded, the parchment has darkened, the letters have become invisible, but AI can see what humans cannot. By analyzing multispectral images, images taken at wavelengths of light invisible to human eyes, machine learning algorithms can detect traces of ancient ink. Letters that disappeared centuries ago are being recovered. Words that no human has read for 2,000 years are becoming visible again. This technology is already being applied to the Dead Sea Scrolls and other ancient manuscripts. The results are adding new texts to our knowledge of the ancient world. Some ancient scrolls are too fragile to unroll. They would crumble to dust if anyone tried to open them. AI is solving this problem through virtual unrolling. Using CT scans, researchers can see inside a rolled scroll without touching it. They can detect the subtle differences between ink and parchment, trace the curves of the rolled material, and digitally unroll the scroll on a computer screen. This technique was first used on carbonized scrolls from Herculaneum, the Roman city buried by Vesuvius, along with Pompeii. Scrolls that had been illegible for centuries were suddenly readable. The same technology is now being applied to other collections. Scrolls that were thought to be lost forever may yet reveal their secrets. AI is also transforming how scholars work together. In the past, studying ancient manuscripts required physical access. You had to travel to Jerusalem, or Rome, or London to examine the texts in person. Now, high-resolution digital images allow scholars anywhere in the world to study manuscripts in detail. AI tools can be shared across institutions. A researcher in Tokyo can collaborate with a colleague in New York on analyzing a scroll held in Israel. This is democratizing biblical scholarship. Insights can come from anywhere. The best ideas can be tested by anyone. But technology has limits. AI can analyze patterns. It can detect similarities and differences. It can process vast amounts of data far faster than any human. What AI cannot do is interpret meaning. The Dead Sea Scrolls matter not because of their age or their handwriting patterns. They matter because of what they say. They preserve the words that shaped Judaism and Christianity. They record the hopes and fears of people who lived 2,000 years ago. Understanding those words requires more than pattern recognition. It requires wisdom, empathy, historical imagination, and faith. AI is a powerful tool, but it remains a tool. The ultimate questions, what do these texts mean, and why do they matter, remain human questions. 75 years after a shepherd threw a stone into a cave, the Dead Sea Scrolls continue to yield their secrets. AI is revealing things about these ancient texts that their original authors could never have imagined. Technologies that would have seemed like magic are now common research tools. Yet for all our technological power, the scrolls retain their mystery. Who wrote them? What did they believe? Why did they hide their library in caves overlooking the Dead Sea? We know more than we ever have. But the more we learn, the more questions arise. Perhaps that's fitting. These are sacred texts, after all. They were written by people who believed they were preserving divine revelation. They were hidden by people who hoped future generations would find them. The AI called Enoch is named for a prophet who walked with God. The technology that bears his name is helping us walk a little closer to the ancient world, but the journey is far from over. Tonight, we've seen how artificial intelligence is transforming our understanding of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Enoch AI system combines handwriting analysis with radiocarbon dating to date manuscripts with unprecedented precision. Its findings suggest many scrolls are older than scholars believed, perhaps by decades or even centuries. This pushes back the timeline of biblical text transmission, narrowing the gap between original composition and our earliest manuscripts. AI is also revealing how ancient scribes worked, their training, their techniques, their remarkable dedication to preserving sacred text. These discoveries matter because the Dead Sea Scrolls are a bridge. They connect us to the world of ancient Israel. They show us how the texts that became the Bible were preserved and transmitted. They reveal the faith of communities who saw these words as the very voice of God. Technology is helping us see that bridge more clearly. AI is illuminating the work of scribes who labored in obscurity 2,000 years ago. Their dedication ensured that their words would reach us. Our technology is helping us understand just how faithful they were. The Dead Sea Scrolls have always been more than artifacts. They are witnesses. They testify to what ancient Jews believed, what they hoped, what they feared. Now, artificial intelligence is helping them testify more clearly than ever before. But the most important thing hasn't changed. The words on these scrolls are the same words that have inspired and challenged humanity for millennia. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God will stand forever. That's from the book of Isaiah. It was written on the great Isaiah scroll over 2,000 years ago. An AI can now tell us exactly when, but only a human heart can understand what it means. Thank you for watching Biblical Mysteries. In our next episode, we'll explore another frontier where AI meets ancient scripture. The question of who really wrote the books of the Bible. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Until then, keep questioning, keep searching. The truth